I think you're a hater, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, where we go, haters going down for the count, looking at the ground. I think you're a hater, I think you're a hater, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, where we go, haters going down for the count, looking at the ground. I think you're a hater, I think you're a hater. Haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, where we go, haters going down for the count, looking at the ground. I think you're a hater, I think you're a hater, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, where we go.
And if you was instead of hating, you be ballin' too. I know you seen us fallin' too. All the rich niggas is all my crew. Fuck it, they can't touch us. If stuck up is what you call it, cool. Ooh, you should've seen when I came down in that. Black on black, cause it's greater haters face down on the mat. Splat, yeah, I can make a green nigga mad. Quick, fast, flash like 10 cash on this bitch. I can tell I'm a G by the walk in the stands. I play the game, make me talk in the stands. Watch how you talk when you talk to the man. If it ain't about bread, you talk to the hand. I show you how to get rich. You got a weak arm, I'll show you how to pitch. Made so play, I'll show you by the hit. And tell the police I don't know about shit. Hey, guy, I'm fly, something like the air. Ain't that something when it's stunting, man? It's nothing like air. Homie, hold it right there. Homeboy, I'm right there.
Haters going down for the count, looking at the ground. I think you're a hater, I think you're a hater. Haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, where we go, haters going down for the count, looking at the ground. I think you're a hater, I think you're a hater. Haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, haters everywhere we go, where we go.
I got one in the back, I got one in the front. I make them do what I say. They tell me say what I want, I tell them. Get your money, girl, and just stop breathing. Cause if it ain't about that dough, it ain't about me neither. See a gangster like myself, I get that paper and women. Man, your woman probably out there with some paper to give me. Listen, you're looking at a real pimp, ask my old women. And they'll tell you no remote, I control women. I'm a whole load, put me in the game, woman. If he ain't paying, then he shouldn't be playing. I'm saying, broke dudes only make jokes funny. I make more than I can fit in this quote, honey. Unquote, come sun soak with me, ma. Fly you down here and lay you up in my beach house.
Haters going down for the count, looking at the ground. I think you're a hater, I think you're a hater.
Cash Crypto, salute. Antoine Jordan, salute. What's going on, gang? What's good in here, y'all? What's going on, People's Choice? My guy, salute. What's going on with everybody up in here tonight? Shit, we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to talk about, I dropped a video earlier about the truth of Earl Spence and what really happened and what people not really talking about. And we talking about how we got MACHROOM out here extorting their fighters and making them take deals the same way Top Rank used to do, the way they did Mikey Garcia and Manny Pacquiao and a few others. You know, boxing is a crazy sport, man. You know, people like to do what they got to do to keep people. They ain't just going to let you get away, especially if you're a money maker. But y'all smash that like for me real quick so we can get these notifications out to people so we can get started. Yeah. Like, next week, we got Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois ain't been the same since he lost to Joe Joyce. He was a killer. He was a egomaniac. But his last fight, boy, he struggled. But the topic at hand, the real truth about Earl Spence. Look, everybody, we talk about what Terrence Crawford did in the ring. But we should talk about what he did outside the ring. See, this whole thing was a game of chess while Earl and Derrick James played checkers. And see, this was a humbling experience for Derrick James and Earl. But they understand where they went wrong. And so I expect them to come back with a vengeance on the repart. because what they did, they messed it up. They dropped the ball for real. Steven Espinosa and the people at PBC tried to tell Earl. They tried to get Earl to take a rematch. I mean, take another match. Look, the things that you did when you was in your 20s, you can't do it when you get in your 30s. See, Sugar Ray Leonard took time off, came back, fought brilliantly. Then he took time off, came back, and Hector Camacho beat him. Now, it's no way in the world that Hector Camacho could smell Sugar Ray draws, but he beat Sugar Ray, beat him bad. And that's because Sugar Ray hadn't been in the ring. You know what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. Like, if you ever played basketball or any type of sport, if you ain't out there practicing and playing your craft, your sport, like if you take any kind of time off of basketball, when you go back, your shot not falling. Like it takes a time to get your shot back right. Like if you are 80% shooter from the free throw, 40% shooter from the three, if you were wet out there in the field, you know, you take some time off, you come back, you barely hit 15-20%. It's because it's got muscle memory, but after a while, your muscles atrophy a little bit if you don't use that muscle. Yeah, Antoine, when you're young, you can make that mistake. You can make that mistake when you're young. But when you cross that 30 years old threshold, you got to hold yourself accountable. Like your body ain't going to bounce back. And Earl got to realize that's 16 months since the Ugas fight. He had one fight in 3 years going into that Bud fight, if you think about it. But you know something, Cash Crypto? I don't believe that. It was hell at first getting Earl in the ring, but right now, Bud got that PVC money now. They building Bud into a star right now. And Bud, he's starting to see that he enjoys that. And now, Bud knows EJ's his biggest payday regardless. And right now, he has the upper hand. He feels like he's much better than Spence. I mean, he just felt like he beat him in devastating fashion. So he thinks if he fights Spence again, it's going to be the same. But Bud ain't stupid. Bud knew if he would have took that fight in November, he know he would have been out the ring for a year. And he's getting older. So he took that Avanesian fight as a tune-up. If you remember the Avanesian fight, it took Bud a minute to get his groove because Avanesian was catching Bud. And everybody like, damn, David Avanesian was catching Bud with some shots. But when Bud got his groove, when he got going, Bud put that man down. See, Bud put Avanesian down, then turned around and went for the Spence fight. So he came out of training camp in a fight, then went back into training camp for the Spence fight. So see, now Bud is sharp as a razor blade now. He's ready. And like they spent that time away from the family. Earl's been sitting around getting fat. Well, not super, super fat, but if you remember, Earl had a gut before they signed the Crawford fight. And they was trying to get Earl to take another fight, the Thurman fight, tune-up fights. Earl like, nope, I'm not fighting nobody. Yeah, I feel you on that Cash Crypto, but Earl talking about I ain't fighting nobody. And they kept trying to get Earl to fight somebody so you don't be so rusty. But Earl, you know, he felt like he came back and beat Danny. He came back and beat Ugas. He felt like this would be another one where I could just come back and do my thing. But it wasn't the same. He fighting an elite fighter who was at the sharpness of his game. And you've been sitting around, laying around, working out, but not working out like that. So plus, Earl's body ain't used to being shocked into the weight drain. Weight drain takes a lot on your body. And see, Earl's body hasn't been used to that. Like I said, Earl had one fight in 3 years, the Ugas fight. You know, he had time off before it, then he had 16 months off afterward. So his body ain't used to being shocked into the weight cut. So when he did make the weight cut, it hit him harder than before. And he wasn't able to rehydrate back up the way he normally do because he's been laying around. You can't just be laying around for a year and you in your 30s didn't expect to go out there and run a full court basketball game. You're going to be hurt, you're going to be sore, and you're not going to be at your top. See, if Earl would have took that Keith Thurman fight or took a Stanionis fight, just took another fight before the Bud fight, he would have been able to take some of the rust off and wouldn't have been that cold when he came in to fight Bud. And his body would be used to making that weight. See, he hasn't had to make that weight in over 16 months, and that shit hit him. And that's why he said, I couldn't get my shit to kick in gear. Like, he couldn't get his body to respond the way it was used to responding. That's why Blu-ray did a video and said anything that could have went wrong did go wrong in that training camp. And I don't blame him, because everybody talking about, man, Earl don't look the same. Earl's getting older. And what comes with getting older is your body don't do the same things it did when you was a young lion. You know, when lions get older, they start losing their teeth. And you got the youngsters start to try them, you know, for supremacy. So Earl got tried for supremacy and he lost. And Earl, it's a humbling feeling, but that right there might have been the best thing to happen to Earl. Because like Earl said, 50% of me is better than 100% of most of these fighters. Now Earl has been humbled. He's about to get that passion back. He's about to get that fire back. He has something to prove. Earl's about to get in there and go ham. Earl's about to get it straight. Earl about to get it back out the mud, because he realized he's done made this guy a star off of his back, off of his hard work. Bud just got to sit there and reap the benefits. And Earl knows that the man played him. He knows that he got done dirty. And see, Bud took that fight with Avanesian, and Earl didn't take a fight. So, you know, Earl's looking for a payday. And that's why Bud was able to negotiate the way he did, because he knew, hey, Earl, he's thirsty for a fight now. Man ain't had a payday in almost 2 years, or a year and a half. And that's what happened. But like I said, Earl and Derrick James, they know what's up. They going back in. And that's why I say at 154, Earl has to get like a stand. I mean, he got to get Brian Castano, or he got to get maybe Victor Ortiz, Virgil Ortiz, or Tim Kazoo. Get them in the rings, and he has to look spectacular against them. He can't go out there and lay an egg. He has to go out there and perform at the top of the top level. And if Earl can't go out there and perform at the top level, then there's no use to him even thinking about rematching Bud, because it's not going to, ain't no use you getting in there with Bud if you can't go out there and dominate Tim Tszyu or Brian Castano, because everybody will tell you before the Earl and Crawford fight, if you say that we would put Earl against Tim Tszyu or Brian Castano, everybody would have had Earl watching both of them. Now, people, the PBC, Showtime, they doubting Earl. And see, Earl got to put the doubters to bed. Earl don't need no soft touches. The man's in his 30s. He needs to go out there, get a tough fight. Brian Castano, Tim Tszyu, put his ass in the fire like the PBC do. And if Earl's who we think Earl is, then he's going to come out of there even more shiny. The fight can be much bigger than the first fight was. Like I told everybody, the fight will do about 700,000. Now, if Earl goes out there and he stops them boys at 154, and Bud take the Keith Thurman, or maybe the boot fight, he looks spectacular against Thurman, that's going to push Bud's name up there. Because like right now, I think Bud's probably 225,000 pay-per-view seller right now. I feel like Earl gave him a little push, a big push, but you got to realize Crawford wasn't selling that much in the first place. So I feel like his 100,000 doubled to 200,000, but people still not really sure Crawford, because they look at Earl and feel like Earl went at his best. So if Crawford go out there and he does something dirty to Keith Thurman, or if he beats a Jerron Bruce Ennis, then that'll capsize him. That'll put him up to a 300,000 seller right there. And if Earl goes out there and pops Castano or pops Tim Tszyu in a devastating fashion, then people can say, okay, he was weight drained and he was rusty and everything like that. That gives the second fight intrigue. And I feel like in the second fight at a different weight, Earl gonna look much better. Earl's gonna be the dominating force that can take punches, that gives out that power shots. I feel like he's gonna have the power to make Crawford respect it. See, Crawford didn't respect Earl power. Earl caught that man with a straight clean shot, and Crawford was like, "Damn, what happened to the power I heard about?" See, Earl's got to get that back. See, Earl's got to go out there and get Crawford's respect. He got to go take it, and he know he do. That's why I hope he gets back with Blu-ray. I hope Earl get in there, and I hope Earl go get it. I hope he takes the Tim Tszyu fight. Me, honestly, I hope he goes out there and destroys Tim Tszyu, and then take a Brian Castano fight. And like they said, they want to do the Crawford Spence rematch around the end of 2024. That's a great time. That gives Bud enough time to get him another fight in to help boost his legacy even more. Like Keith Thurman would be perfect. Because Bud said when he comes to the welterweight division, he wanted Thurman. He said Thurman was the man, and Thurman's calling him out. But Thurman has been out the ring for a while as well, so Thurman might have to get a tune-up fight. But you know, it is what it is on that right there. Thurman know he could have been took a fight. He's waiting on the Earl fight. Like you gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's how you gotta be. But I think Thurman and Crawford would be a great fight. I think Crawford stops him to the body. But anybody want to get up here with me, y'all can. Y'all know how we do it. Anthony Jones, salute. You know something, Anthony? Spence is a beast already. He don't need steroids, bro. Like I said, Spence body wasn't used to it. Spence ain't been out there in a while. And I feel like Spence get back in the gym, he get back to the hang of things, especially at a different weight. We gonna see Spence come to the ring at 165, 170. We gonna see Spence come out there. Now Spence don't need that Anthony Jones. All he needs is Blu-ray. Blu-ray, I feel like it's better than Snap Program. Like Blu-ray say, I make machines out of people. And you know, Earl Spence had a 12-fight knockout streak when he was with Blu-ray. You feel me? I mean, Anthony Jones, I feel what you're saying, but I'm not going to try to put that on nobody until we find out. Devin Haney also on Snap. And we ain't seeing Devin Haney knock out shit right now. So, you know, it is what it is right there. I just don't want to put a jacket on people because we already have other people putting jackets on our fighters. We already got people like Rick Glazier, Max Kellerman. We already got Paulie Malignaggi. They already down on our fighters. I don't want to be like them and down our fighters as well. I want to lift our fighters because, you know, they're giving us the fights we asked for. But Cash Crypto, it ain't going to be hell for Bud to do a rematch. That's why Steven Espinosa said it'll be flexible because, you know, Bud signed to Heyman now. Bud knows, and he's following the game plan. Like he said, they was right. You know, Bud done seen the most money in his entire career in one fight. All the money Bud has earned in his career, he just made in the Earl Spence fight in one night. So Bud's about to stick with the money plan. He's about to be with them. They're going to build him up to a higher status. Hold on, who we got right here? We got my boy Pierre. Pierre, welcome to the Green Brothers. What's going on, King?
Man, what up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. How are you feeling?
I'm good, bro. I'm living.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I would like to see Earl take out Zoo or Castano, preferably Zoo, because
he can do that.
Zoo,
he can do that. He can. I can definitely see him fighting Tim Zoo.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that shit. He can do that.
That's what I'm saying. If Earl can't come back and beat Brian Castano or Tim Zoo, we don't need to talk about him versus Crawford. Period.
Exactly.
If he can't come back in top performance, I mean, it's nothing that they can sit there and say.
Man, hey, I want to be bluntly honest on this, man.
Hold on one second before you start, bro. Anthony Jones, the reason why Crawford think he can beat Jermell Charlo now is because you got to realize Earl Spence is a better fighter than Jermell Charlo. Mm-hmm. Earl Spence used to beat on Jermell Charlo in there. So Bud feel like since he beat the top dog, he can beat Charlo. But what he doesn't realize is Charlo has evolved as a fighter. He's not the same guy that used to get beat on by Earl. And what he don't realize is Earl ain't the same fighter that he fought. So he gonna realize that in the rematch. And like I said, Canelo is not the boogeyman everybody thinks. Canelo, he doesn't have no footwork because his legs is bad. He hasn't fought athletic black fighters for a reason. Arislandi Lara got in there and boxed the shit out of Canelo. Bivol boxed Canelo. Floyd Mayweather was 25 pounds lighter than him. Stayed in front of Canelo the whole fight and boxed his ass off. Canelo, he just get fighters that don't have defense and catch him with that hook or that uppercut. But Canelo gasses out and fights. If you got a jab, you have footwork, you have power, you can beat Canelo. Jermell Charlo gonna show you how easy it is. Pierre, go ahead, brother.
Hey, so I've been seeing, I've been seeing all these videos about, speculations and stuff like that with Terrence Crawford. Let's set the record straight, right? These are two brothers, right? These two brothers. Let's not forget this, bro. I congratulate Terrence Crawford even as an Earl Spence fan. But from what I see, respectfully, I think that Earl Spence underestimated the guy. He took too many layoffs. He had to take a layoff after fighting Danny Garcia, of course, due to the ID. He took another layoff after fighting Ugas. There's no reason why he should have stayed out the ring that long, man, being the fighter that he is. And that's why Terrence Crawford had that edge over him, man. And of course, we know Father Time is undefeated, man. Being out of the ring that long, we know Earl Spence walking around at 170, 175. Come on, man. He can't make that weight like that all the time. So we can't really just get to jump into conclusions. I think Earl Spence played a big part in this, man. Like he didn't give himself the best opportunity to win this fight, man. Like
Exactly.
that's my opinion on it. He gonna come back sharp. Guess what? This loss is gonna help his ass because you look at Tank Davis, Canelo Alvarez. These motherfuckers fighting 2 to 3 times a year. Damn, they want to fight 3 times a year if they could. They
Yeah, because it's
stand
keeping them
active.
sharp. It's staying
Yes,
active. And see,
yes,
that's what I say. Like when you novice boxers, when you first coming in, you see boxers fighting 5, 6 times a year.
yeah, man.
Because you get sharper and you develop your craft. And the more you in that ring, the better you get. So you want to keep going in there so you keep staying sharp, Like I alluded to the point early. Sugar Ray Leonard, he knows damn well you wouldn't pick Camacho over Sugar Ray Leonard. But Camacho stopped Sugar Ray because Sugar Ray took that damn layoff and came back. And Camacho destroyed his ass.
There
But a
you go.
prime Sugar Ray would beat the brakes off that man. Hold on. All things salute. Edgar Chavez, salute, Kings. But yeah, that's what I said. Earl should have took that fight. See, PBC and them was advising Earl to take the Thurman fight. See, they knew what Crawford was doing. They was keeping Earl out the ring, for that rest. And see,
Exactly.
Earl figured he could bounce back like he did versus Garcia or Ugas. And what Earl don't realize is, as you get older, you have to damn work these muscles or you're going to fail. Your
Yep.
body ain't the same when you hit 30. When you hit 30, you got to start putting knee braces on and everything. You just can't come out there. If you used to shooting jumpers in the basketball court, you take a year off of basketball, it's going to take you a minute to find your range again. You just can't go back out there and be hitting like you did if you just the next day. I mean, I understand that Anthony Jones, but that's why they got rematches. And that's why I say I want to see Earl versus Tim Tszyu at 154. That'll give it if he come out there and he shows the type of fighter that we know Earl to be, and he smashes Tim Tszyu, and then, probably follow up with a Brian Castano, give Earl 2 good fights to perfect his craft to get back to the Earl that we know. I feel like he needs at least 2 good fights to get himself sharp, and then get there with Crawford. You say what, bro?
Hey, real shit. Out of all the channels I've been watching respectfully, that's the realest shit I heard, dude. Fight them first before even stepping in the ring with Crawford. If somehow they could change the language in the contract.
Oh, they can. Steven Espinosa said they got flexibility. Crawford, he's on board right now. He's an Al Heyman fighter now. Crawford know that Earl Spence will always be his biggest payday. This man just got more money in his whole career in one fight. He knows that he wants another payday.
That motherfucker superstar now, bro. That shit crazy. Dude blew up.
I mean, he's still a star.
No, I'm talking about Bud. Like Bud on
I know, but
CBS, yeah.
I mean, they pushing him. They trying to promote him right now. I still feel like Earl's a bigger draw.
Oh, he always
Earl fans still buy more than Bud fans, but
always will.
But they're managing Crawford. They're pushing Crawford right now. They're trying to make Crawford into a bigger star. And if Earl goes out there and beats Kim Tszyu and beats Brian Castano, and then him and Bud meets, that'll be a much bigger fight. Roll the plug, salute. BL, salute. Or Earl can fight Virgil Ortiz at 154 because Virgil Ortiz is up there now. That's an undefeated young buck right there. Virgil Ortiz and Earl Spence at Dallas Cowboy Stadium sells out. That's a black versus Mexican plus Virgil Ortiz undefeated, and he has power. He's a young gunner. That's a sellout fight right there.
Hey,
and it's a big payday. And Crawford takes out Thurman. Thurman would be a greater test to Crawford. And if Crawford goes ahead and beat Thurman, that'll turn Crawford to a 225,000 buy to at least a 300,000 buy. See, Crawford was like 100,000 pay-per-view buyer. And then he just beat Earl. So I feel like he's about 225,000 now. I still don't feel like he'll sell more than Earl right now. Chitlin distributor, salute. But I feel like they building Crawford. They're making him bigger. This fight's gonna be bigger because see, I said it to do about 700,000. It did 650K. So I feel like Crawford go out there and if he beats Thurman or if he fights Boots and beats Boots, that'll make him an even bigger star. He might surpass Earl if he beats Thurman and Boots. But what I would say, he probably wouldn't fight the Boots. That's too much risk for him. AJ64, salute, King. All things, salute, King. I don't think he'll take the Boots fight, but Thurman fight is a big fight and it's winnable. Like Bud can get 2 fights in, he can get like a Stanionis fight and a Thurman fight. Both are mandatory. You feel me?
I feel you, man.
You know,
that makes sense. That makes 100% sense. Like, why they talking about that? Why they talking about fighting right now, bro? Y'all tripping. Y'all need to let this shit
they're not gonna do it, Steven. I just did a video earlier. Steven Espinosa said they're not wanting to make that fight right now.
Good shit.
See,
That's
they
good.
know the fight didn't do as good as they hoped, but it did what they projected. Because like I said, they both dipping out the. Thanks, Carlos Blackshire. I'm glad you're here, bro. Hit that subscribe button, brother, and thank you. Now, see, they know that the fight, if you put it back on now, it's not gonna do as much as it did last time. And both fighters still gonna want the big paydays. So they're not gonna be able to give both fighters the big paydays that they want. But if Earl goes on 154 and he does what I say, he beats a Tim Tszyu in devastating fashion. Because Tim Tszyu and him both have a common opponent in Ocampo. They both stopped Ocampo in the first round, but Tim Tszyu bragged that he did it a lot quicker than Earl did in the first round. Because it took Earl to the end of the first round while Tim Tszyu knocked him out in the first round.
First round is first round. Fuck that.
Yeah, but Tim Tszyu came out there throwing them haymakers. And see, Tim Tszyu, he making a name for himself right now. And a white fighter versus a black fighter usually does good numbers just like a Mexican versus
he Aussie, right? He Aussie, right?
Yeah, he's Costa Tszyu's son. But different race fights always do good numbers. You feel me?
Always, like Tyson Fury and Wilder.
Yeah, exactly. So Tim Tszyu been calling out early. Earl called the nigga trash at the Jamil Charlo's undisputed party.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But Brian Castano also beat Earl in the amateurs. So they got background too. So that's why I say Earl can go up there and step on both of them. That gives him 2 fights to get sharp right there. That gives him, because they say they want to do the rematch with Spence and Crawford at the end of 2024. So that gives Earl 2 fights to stay active, and he'll be coming off 2 fights going in the ring with Bud, and Bud will be at his top right there too. Then we can really see the fight that we should have seen in the first place.
I fuck with that. I'm not with it. Get back. Fuck that, dude. This is what you do. You let Earl go to 154, fight Brian Castano or Tim Tszyu, and then he back on top. But guess what? Ain't he taking the belt from Tim Tszyu if he do that shit?
Yeah, the WBO.
And he got something off for Crawford at 154. So we got a big draw again. So that's what I'm saying.
If he takes the WBO from Tim Tszyu, right? And Crawford comes and fight Earl for that WBO, then the winner can challenge Jamil Charlo for undisputed at 154. Because Jamil Charlo, it won't be undisputed because he'll be missing that 1 belt. And then, it'll be Jamil Charlo. For Jamil Charlo, he could be 3 times undisputed. If he beats Canelo Alvarez, then he comes back down and recaptures his WBO belt. Then he'll be 3 times undisputed. Or if Bud beats him, he'll be 3 times undisputed. So it'll be a history in the making if he can get past Earl. But see, Earl could be right there in the middle of everything by beating Brian Castano and Tim Tszyu. And Crawford, he could fight either Tim Thurman or Keith Thurman, or he come up and fight Virgil Ortiz. Like Crawford can fight Keith Thurman, or he come up and get a fight in as well at 154. So he can be ready for Earl at 154. And then you have them both go at each other while they both in their best physical condition. They both coming off a short turnaround. Ain't no long layoffs. They both acclimated. And we can see who's really the best and what's going on. Because I feel like Earl gets him 2 fights to get sharp. Then we'll see that Lamont Peterson Earl back. We'll see the Earl that can change levels, the one that can
We
fight
need
up
we, we need
front
we
and
need that
back.
Mikey Garcia Earl. We need that Mikey Garcia Earl.
No, Lamont Peterson Earl was better than Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia Earl didn't have strength and conditioning.
Oh,
Mikey
he didn't.
Garcia
You're right.
Earl was a lot weak. Lamont Peterson Earl was strong, and he was good and fast. See, Earl lost a lot of speed right there, but see, like I was saying, we need that Earl to come up there and fight them two fighters, and then we get Bud, both of them coming off fights, so they're not on long layoffs. And then that fight will be much bigger. It'll do more than 650,000 that time because you got the intrigue now. Now you got the narrative that Earl was weight drained. He been at the weight too long, and now you want to see if Bud can still do what he did at 147. And people will be interested in that, and they will buy that fight right there. And that fight will do big numbers, and it'll be a whole different fight than what we seen at 147 with Earl coming out cold and rusty. And that's how I feel about that. I would like to see them get it in and do it.
See, and thing is this, right? When the last time Earl fought more than one time a year? It's been a while since we seen that shit, and we know
Earl coming into this Crawford fight. Earl's fought one time in 3 years.
Exactly. Look at that shit. Come on now. That come on. And look, this is no excuse. Crawford did what he was supposed to do, right? All I'm saying.
I mean, Earl, like I said, they see what was going on. They tried to get Earl to fight somebody else before the Crawford fight. Earl had too much pride, and like I said, after pride comes destruction.
Yes, sir.
And Earl, he got a good lesson. That's why I said this was a lesson that Earl Spence needed, and he won't forget this lesson no more. That's why he said we got to run this back, and he knows what it is. But it's gonna be a little bit. They're gonna have to be able to talk Earl into not trying to take the immediate rematch because they're not trying to put the fight on. But Earl, like Steve Espinosa said, Earl's real adamant about getting that rematch right now. And Earl,
you know why, right?
You say what?
You know why, right? The reason why is because we seen this shit. Fighters that lose their first fight, right? They got too many people in their ear, and also it's that confidence. That confidence got stricken, man. Earl got a big ego. This the same dude.
I mean, that's
a tune-up fight. He don't believe it's tune-up.
Listen, bro, that's true, but you don't want to get in there and get your ass whooped again, though, bro.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody's got to get in Earl's ear and let him know. Hey, hold on 1 second. I had to switch this off. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
I had to switch. Aaron Muhammad, salute my guy. I had to switch off for a second so I could move around for a minute because I got my thing right there. But yeah, like I was saying, it's gonna be a much better fight. But I want to see Earl move up, and it was another thing that's funny. Crawford talking about going to 168 and fight the winner of Canelo.
Hell no, bro. He gonna get stepped on. I'm sorry. I like Crawford. He gonna get stepped on.
Hey, but if he did do that, right? That's Earl at his best weight right there. That's Earl at the weight that Floyd Mayweather said.
You got a fucking point there.
So, Floyd said, Todd Swindle, salute, King. Floyd said he would like to see Earl at 160 or 168, right? So, just say like Earl gets the two fights in at 154. And say like Crawford goes up there and he fights one of them after they rematches, right?
Yep.
And just say he's lucky to win. That's going to make Bud a superstar, right? Because he's going to be either Jamil or Canelo. He'll be like a 500 by himself type person. Earl beats Tim Tszyu and he beats Castano. That's going to push his stock back up. Earl and Crawford at 168 for undisputed at 168. That does over 1 million buys right there. Especially if Charlo and Canelo have been knocked off by each other and then Bud takes him out. And then Earl's fighting him at his top pinnacle weight. At the weight that Earl spars at when he spars light heavyweights and heavyweights. Because Earl be between 170 to 160 when he's in training camp sparring before he cuts his weight. Then we'll see. But see, all things they're not gonna fight Morrell and Benavidez. See, right now they got Morrell and Benavidez on the outskirts. And see, PBC owns both fighters. So they're about making big fights right now. And David Benavidez versus Earl, Crawford, or Bell ain't a big fight. But they know that they can milk the money. And they can make different fights for Benavidez. Well, Benavidez gotta go against Boo Boo. And that's not a sure thing for David Benavidez right there, because Boo Boo Andrade is a world class fighter right there. And
Hey,
David Benavidez has holes in his defense. Caleb Plant arguably beat David Benavidez. I had the fight scheduled 6-6. I had it a draw. I felt like Caleb won the first half of the fight. David won the second half. But, David pulled it out, they said. But Boo Boo Andrade, he's more conditioned than Caleb. He's a lot harder to hit. People avoided Demetrius Andrade because he makes you look average in that ring.
they
Boo Boo
blackball,
makes you.
bro.
Hey, Todd Swindle, I got David Morrell beating everybody up to 200. I got David Morrell beating Better BF, Bivol. I got him beating the Bridgerweights and the Cruiserweights. Ball, what's up, bro? I told you I had you if you come through. Let me get you right, bro. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, hold on. Let me get you right real quick. Hold on, bro. You keep talking. I'm just doing this. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm just working something out real quick. Hold on. Shit. Hey, Pierre, where you go, my guy? Hey, shout out to my guy Aaron Muhammad for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, Pierre, hop back up here, bro. I had to fix this thing real quick, bro. Yeah, I had to fix it because I told you I had to step out for a second from right here. I'm gonna drop the link. I got Dev up here.
Hey, what's going on? Oh,
What's going on,
Luke,
brother?
what's going on, man? All good. I just got a question, man. So, um, the contract, right? Does the contract say that the fight is mandated at 54, or is it just a general rematch clause
The
with the
rematch
winner?
clause is they can pick the winner
Yeah.
gets. The winner gets to pick the
So the winner
weight
gets to
class.
pick. Okay, so Crawford gets to pick. I just don't see. I thought it was something like that. I just don't see Crawford. The Crawford's the kind of guy to me. He's not gonna give Spence that advantage. He knows Spence
Nah,
is gonna
Crawford
come
said
in there.
147 ain't easy for him to make two, and he said he'd do it up there. A1 Hoop Zone, salute, my guy, salute. I think
But do you
Crawford
think
do it.
he's gonna do it with Spence at 54?
Yeah. Listen, Crawford appreciates Spence for what he did. Crawford is a different person now. At first, people don't realize, Crawford was always hearing all this negative stuff about PBC because he was across the waters. So he was always talking about how they was talking about how Al Heyman trying to get over on you, how the PBC do this and that. See, now Crawford is a PBC. He's signed by Al Heyman now. And see now, Crawford, they building Crawford's name right now. If you notice, you see Crawford everywhere right now. They're turning Crawford into his dream, into a superstar. Crawford is being pushed everywhere. He's on all these different tours. They pushing Crawford name out there. Crawford done made the most money in his entire career in one fight versus Spence. Crawford wants generational wealth right now. He knows his biggest payday is still with Spence. And that's why Steven Espinosa say, yeah, but they can work it out because they know that they can make it sweet for Crawford. Like if you sit here and tell Crawford, like, look, I'm gonna give you these two fights right here, and we're gonna build up you and Spence fight, and y'all about to get an even bigger payday. You think Crawford about to turn it down? No. And Crawford already told Spence that he will rematch him at 154. So see, he's already told us that. And see, Crawford already feels more superior than Earl right now. He just beat Earl, and he feel like he's the better fighter. He don't feel like Earl can mess with his level, but he also knows that was a different Earl that he seen. But Crawford appreciated Earl for giving him that chance right there. And Crawford, he's got one thing about it, I ever tell you, Crawford loves money. Now, Crawford has been fighting for over 10 years, about 16 years, matter of fact, right? Now, look, you've been fighting for 16 years, and in 24 minutes, you've made more money than you've ever made in 16 years. And then they talk about you doing it again, making it again. You telling me you wouldn't do that, brother? See, most fighters never get to the cusp where they make $1 million a fight. The average fighter makes between $10,000 to $100,000 a fight. Isak Cruz made $300,000 when he fought Gervonta Tank Davis the first time, and that was coming up from making $10,000. That was his biggest payday. Now everybody see people like Ryan made $30 million. You got to realize most fighters never make $1 million a fight. Ryan Garcia has only made $1 million twice in a fight, and you see how big they try to push him. So see, when a fighter finally makes that $1 million threshold, it does something. Sean Porter came out of retirement to fight Bud Crawford for a $4 million paycheck. You know, Sean Porter didn't make his first big paycheck until he fought Earl Spence. I think he got close to $1 million versus Kell Brook and against Keith Thurman, and he didn't even get $1 million versus Danny Garcia. So when he got that Earl Spence check, you know, Sean was happy. You know, he said, shit, I can retire and be a podcaster now. But they offered him money for the Bud fight because Sean Porter had became a pay-per-view star because of what him and Earl did. So, you know, he was able to get 60-40 with Terrence Crawford as a mandatory. Usually a mandatory gets 75%, but they made a special circumstance for Sean Porter because of how great him and Earl did. So he got 60-40.
So how do you see this going? Because what you're saying is that they're gonna rematch at 54, but in order for them to have another successful pay-per-view, they're gonna have to build it up just because how the first fight went.
I
So
mean, most
the
people, even Spence fans, a lot of Spence fans even said they don't want to see a rematch. A lot of people
right,
said they don't want to see a rematch
right.
because it was so one-sided. But that's why I said if Earl Spence goes up and beat Tim Tszyu and Brian Castano or Virgil Ortiz, he goes up and get him 2 fights in, and he beats them in dominating fashion. Then you can say, okay, it was the weight. So now you have an angle. Now you have a reason why Spence looks so bad. And while they doing that, they're gonna be building Crawford's name to make him a bigger star. See, Bud had just did like 15,000 pay-per-view with the David Avenesian fight. Bud was not, he had fell off as a pay-per-view star on that BLK Prime. The man did like 15,000 buys, man. So, you know, basically Earl was carrying that pay-per-view. So now they're going to make it where Bud carries his half of the pay-per-view and Earl carries his half. You know, they trying to push Bud out there to a different genre. Because right now, Earl and Bud was dipping out the same pool. So they trying to market Bud out there. Because see, Earl was doing it like that. But then Earl got complacent. And he stopped marketing like that. Earl started falling back and not doing the interviews that he used to do at the beginning. See, Earl could have been a much bigger star, but Earl fell back, and Tank kept going, so Tank's pushed to the front now. So now they're gonna push Bud right now because Bud's willing and ready. Bud's been waiting for this all his life. So you know Bud's embracing this shit right here. Bud's out here making it do what it do. So Bud goes out there do what he do while Earl is getting himself sharper. And he's fixing the flaws that he had and getting himself back into the Earl that we know. So then when they come together, we're gonna see the Earl that we used to seeing versus Terrence Crawford. And then we're gonna see who's really the best. Both of them.
So how do they move Crawford? You mentioned that Spence can move up, fight Tim Tszyu or Brian Castano. Who is Crawford fighting in the meantime?
I want to see Crawford fight Thurman first because he called for Thurman when he first got to 150, 147. Crawford versus Thurman to be a big fight. Thurman did almost 500K with Manny Pacquiao, so Thurman's a name. Thurman's a big name, and him versus Crawford, people would love to see that right there. And Thurman has his fan base, so you know that'll probably do maybe 350 pay-per-view buys, which is anything over 200,000 pay-per-view buys is a successful pay-per-view. So you know Crawford versus Thurman, it does their thing. And you know that's going to add to Crawford's legacy if he beats Thurman in devastating fashion, which I feel like he might get Thurman with a body shot and take him up out of there. And you know we got Earl moving the way that he's moving, so Crawford's building his legacy and they pushing him out there, and they pushing Earl up, and Earl's doing it. That fight becomes twice as big as the first fight because now people know who Crawford is, and now people want to see what Earl can do, like the Deontay Wilder rematch. You see, that was a lot bigger than the first one. Holyfield and Bo rematch was a lot bigger than the first one. Lennox Lewis and Hakeem Rahman rematch was a lot bigger. But Holyfield Tyson rematch was a lot bigger. It always gets bigger the second time around. And all things, they not about to throw Stanionis in there with boots right now. Stanionis ain't been in the ring in almost 2 years. He been waiting on this Ortiz fight. They're gonna give Stanionis a soft touch right now. But like my guy was saying, yeah, David Morrell is the rawest thing up there right now. And that's why David Benavidez backed out of that contract. That's why David Benavidez took Boo Boo. And you remember, he really wasn't trying to fight Boo Boo, but he had to choose either Boo Boo or Morrell. And so he took the lesser of both evils. See, David Benavidez, he has great offense, but his defense is lacking. Like I said, I felt like Caleb Plant won the first 6 rounds. I felt like it was a draw. David Benavidez came on at the end, but I felt like Caleb Plant gassed out a little bit because he was boxing the shit out of his ass. And Boo Boo is a hell of a boxer. And Boo Boo has a little bit more power than Caleb, and Boo Boo has better angles. So David Benavidez is about to be in there. The Mexican Monster might get in trouble versus Boo Boo.
Yeah, I like Boo Boo. My only thing with Boo Boo though is I think his feet are a little slower than Plant. I agree with you. I thought that Plant fight was a lot closer than what people thought, but I just think Boo Boo's feet's a little slower than Plant, and I think that's gonna get him in trouble because you know he's been really inactive, Boo Boo. Not from his skill set. He got all the skills, but I just think his inactivity against a guy like Benavidez who's been active. That's the only downside. As you've seen, the inactivity of these boxers are killing them, man.
Yeah,
Like it's bad.
Yeah, AJ, I think that Spence's body just wouldn't rehydrate, bro. Like I said, he shocked his body to get it down that low. So you know his body ain't used to doing that. He's in his 30s now, so his body, he don't know how his body reacted, and his body didn't react the way he wanted to on the rehydration. That's why I felt like he didn't rehydrate up as much. But that's why I said karate body salute, King. That's why I said give Earl 2 fights to get himself sharp before he gets him back in the ring. I'm gonna drop this link, karate, if you want to hop up here with us.
One more thing, and I'm gonna hop off and get back in the chat. I agree with you on the Thurman fight at 54.
I'm about to say you stay up here if you want to, bro. It ain't no problem.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, cool.
I let people stay up here and chill and talk, you know.
Okay.
You know,
Another fight I'd like to see. Another fight that I like to see. I had 2 fights. The Thurman fight, like you said, at 54. But a lot of people are sleeping on this. And I think Heyman and them guys are trying to orchestrate this Lara Danny winner to face Crawford. That's a big fight right there. If Danny handles his business against Lara, you could sell that joint because they was been supposed to fight since 40.
I don't think Danny Garcia is gonna beat Erislandy Lara though. See,
Oh,
Erislandy Laura, you know, he beat Canelo and got robbed. Erislandy Laura is a pure boxer. Erislandy Laura is the Cuban school elite. But one thing about Erislandy Laura at 160, he's sitting down on his shots now, and he stopped his last opponent. Erislandy Laura got some pop. Now I don't think he's gonna stop Danny Garcia because Danny Garcia has a hell of a chin on him. Danny's done been hit with Matisse by Spence. He done got bombed on by Thurman. Like Danny's done took shots from the greatest. I don't think Laura stops him, but I think Laura outboxes him. Cause you know Danny kind of slow. He got a nice counter, but Laura's a tricky fighter. And Laura was able to avoid Canelo and his power shots and his power counters. And I don't think Danny Garcia is a better counter puncher than Canelo Alvarez. You feel me? And I feel like, the way he made Canelo look bad, I feel like he can make Danny look bad. Like the book's out on Danny Garcia. We seen what Spence did to him. And Erislandy Laura is a brilliant fighter. He has IQ.
He is, yeah. I just think he's old. So you really think he's gonna beat Danny? That's interesting.
I really think Erislandy Laura. See, Danny's trying to get in a catch weight, but you got to realize you fighting for the 160 belt. So how you trying to fight for the 160 belt at 155? Hell no, man. But I don't think Danny can fuck with Erislandy Laura.
Okay.
I just feel like Erislandy Laura is more accomplished, and he's a better all-around boxer. Like Danny might have more power than Laura, but we don't know what Danny gonna look like at 160 either. There might be too much weight for his body. We don't know. And like I said, Erislandy Laura has been hitting a lot harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Why you say that, AJ? Why you say Sean's two-faced?
Let me ask you this: who you got in a Haney and Shakur fight at 40?
At 140?
Yeah,
that'd be a great fight right there. I feel like it'll go to distance because I don't think neither one of them got stopping power, and I feel like it'll be a hell of a chess match. If Shakur can take away Haney's jab and sit right in front of him, then I give it to Shakur. But if Haney can keep the distance, and if Haney got more power at 140, because I feel like Haney been draining himself to make 135, and when you drain yourself, you lose power. I feel like then Haney probably could take it, but it'll be a great fight. That's why we got to see fights like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
At 135, Shakur will win because Haney wouldn't be at his best. He'd be drained. Just like I don't want to see Bud go down and fight Tank at 140 because Bud will get killed. Because Bud will be weight drained. He'll have no punch resistance, and he'll be going against a quicker, stronger fighter that has deadly knockout power. Karate Body, salute. Welcome to the panel.
Having me, man. So what we're discussing, I hear you guys talking about Laura and Garcia.
Yeah, that's what he just brought up, Laura and Garcia. And he's talking that'd be a good fight. Yeah, that'd be a good fight for Earl for the winner if Laura wins. That'll have Earl fight against. If Erislandy Laura beats Danny Garcia, I would like Earl to fight Tim Tszyu, then go up there and fight Erislandy Laura. Erislandy Laura is a hell of a boxer, and that'll prepare him for Crawford right there. And if he can stop Erislandy Laura and shut Erislandy Laura down, then he'd be so much more sharper for Terrence Crawford. Honestly.
Yeah.
You remember I was saying I wanted I wouldn't mind them taking a fight in between their rematch. I actually think a good fight for bounce back fight for EJ is Mendoza, the guy that knocked out what's that tall dude?
Fundora.
Yeah, Fundora, the one that knocked out Fundora.
Yeah, that'd be a great one. But I said I'd rather see him versus Castano or Tim Tszyu instead of Brian Mendoza.
Yeah, Castano would be a good fight for him to come back.
Tim Tszyu would be an even better fight, though. Tim Tszyu for the WBO belt, plus Tim Tszyu been calling him out. And
that'd be a banger right there.
Yeah, Earl before the Crawford fight, we would have said Earl would have washed him. You feel what I'm saying? But if Earl can't get in there and do what we thought he'd do, then it ain't no use in him getting in there with Crawford because Earl has all the tools to destroy Tim Tszyu. And if he can't get in there and beat a Tim Tszyu and make the statement right there, it's no use for him trying to get back in there with Crawford. And that's why I feel like he's got to jump right in there, get in the feet in the fire. And like I said, they trying to make the rematch at the end of 2024. So like I said, Earl need to get him at least
Oh,
2 fights
really?
in. Yeah, that's what Steven Espinosa was saying.
Oh, I didn't
They was
know
gonna
that.
get Bud a couple fights in between,
Uh-huh.
and get Earl a couple fights. That's what they said they trying.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I just hopefully, man, hopefully nothing goes wrong, man. No injuries or nothing. But I'm not mad at that. Let them, let them build up the fight. The rematch even more, so they can cash out because these brothers,
That's what I said. So
they've been
if
on their
Earl
game.
was to stop Tim Zoo at 154 and say like he stops Castano, then people can say, okay, it was the weight. And that was the reason that Earl couldn't fight. And Earl, he won't have that long layoff, so he'll have all that rust up off of him. He'll be a much better
Yeah,
fighter. And then, Bud will be at his top because he'd been up fought Thurman or somebody like that.
yeah,
And it'll be a much better fight. Plus,
yeah.
I think it'll be a bigger fight because they building Crawford's name right now.
Right, right. Yeah, You know what? That's true.
Trojan,
Those three names, or even what's his name? One of them can fight. What's the guy that Mel knocked out in the first round? The one that was
nah,
falling
he
How about
arrow.
Lubin?
nah, he's about to get destroyed on the Canelo card. He's fighting against Jesus Ramos.
Well, who's that? Who's fighting
Eric,
Ramos?
Lubin.
Erickson Lubin.
Oh, Lupin is fighting. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Erickson
Ramos
Lubin.
could throw down.
Yeah, Ramos is Brian Mendoza is one of the only people that didn't get knocked out by Ramos. But Ramos had Brian Mendoza all over that damn ring. That's why I knew Ramos was gonna beat Rosario and Fundora. Ramos is a monster. I feel like Ramos is probably the only person that can challenge Jamil down there right now. And especially he's 18-0 with 15 knockouts. But if he gets a few more fights in, that boy's gonna be trouble. And Trojan Pigeons, Shalom King, salute.
Man, just how Buzz moves, and like you said, Upper, like how they're trying to build him now. I think Bud is gonna play off of this Canelo Charlo fight. You've been hearing him in interviews already.
I
He's
mean, they
undisputed,
build it.
so he has the golden ticket to really punch anything he wants to do right
Okay,
now.
but you know something? If
Mm,
Jamil, but if Jamil beats Canelo twice, and him and Crawford, they have beef. So if he wins, that'll be a great fight for Crawford to go up there and fight. And
right, that's what I think is gonna happen.
say like Crawford does beat him,
Hmm.
then Earl can go up to 168 and challenge Crawford for undisputed. You feel me? And that'll be that much more because Earl will be at 168. Trojan Mike, Ramos didn't knock out Brian Mendoza. Ramos beat him. He beat him 12 rounds. I mean, he beat him, but he didn't knock him out. Mendoza one of the only people that didn't get knocked out by Ramos.
My bad, you. I got a phone call, man. Knocked
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Lubin's gonna lose that fight.
Yeah, that's why I said they throwing Lubin out there to the wolves, bro. Like
Yeah.
I said, damn, they just made Lubin a damn gatekeeper, basically.
Yeah, it's so young in his career, man. But I mean, some people have the goods and some people don't.
Well, they told him not to challenge Charlo so early, but he wouldn't listen to
Yeah,
everybody.
he
He
wouldn't
said, "Fuck
listen.
that."
No,
And he
no.
went and see. It's kind of fucked up because after he lost to Charlo, that man had 6 fights, 6 tough fights to bounce
Yeah,
back, and he
yeah,
beat all 6, and then got the Fundora. And hell, he was winning that fight, but Fundora stopped him because he fucked his face up.
yeah,
But if
exactly.
he would have beat that Fundora, he would have transcended back up to
Yeah,
star status.
yeah. He would have been back in the mix. But yeah, he's
And now going against Ramos, they trying to get him all the way out the mix. Now
yeah.
he about to be a Sean Porter up there.
I'm hoping those odds are good. I'm hoping those odds are good because I'm always looking for something to hop on. Like,
Well, I gave y'all remember I gave y'all Navarrete last week.
you know what? I'm not gonna even lie, man. I parlayed that. I think I put a 1100 down. Lost that because I went with I don't know why I didn't pick. You know what I don't like about Navarrete? He crosses his legs a lot and he's out of position. He's just fought a guy he can get away with it. Once he fights somebody that can get at him with his mistakes he makes, like the constant mistakes he makes, he's gonna get slept. But what's his name just wasn't the guy, and that's what I was looking. I was looking at more so the mistakes he made rather than the guy he was fighting, and I just thought that he would be able to, because he a counter punch, he'll be able to catch him, and he hits hard. But it just didn't. Navarrete was able to just eat those punches, man, and kept coming and messed his face up. And that's another thing. His face gets so messed up in fights.
But see, I told you. But see, I told y'all. I even broke it down.
I didn't even catch your vid, man. I've been out of the mix. My bad.
Yeah, but I broke it down.
I
told everybody Navarrete is just like Boo Boo Andrade.
Yeah.
I said he's the Mexican Boo Boo Andrade. I said he's unconventional. I said he's like one of them special fighters like Roy and Boo Boo who do stuff that you don't teach fighters to do.
Yeah.
But you got to realize he come from one of them South American countries, and they unorthodox.
Yeah, they're
unorthodox.
Exactly. He's very
That's one of the biggest things in boxing, because if people can't pick your movements, you have an advantage right there.
Yeah. Because didn't Navarrete, he just had a hard fight. I bet on him on another fight, man. I threw him in a parlay, and he was making me kind of nervous because he was making the fight harder than
it was against Liam Wilson.
Was that who it was? Okay.
Yeah, but that was his first fight at 130. That's what
130, exactly. It was his first.
And see, I explained it to people. I said that man came up from 122.
Yeah, he did.
That was his first fight. Because see, he came up to 127, won the belt, 126, won the belt, then came up again.
Yeah.
And see, Ray Vargas tried that, and he lost to Oshaki.
Right.
But see, that's why I said Navarrete versus Valdez, he had a time to get his power.
Yeah.
He's done got accustomed to the weight.
Acclimated. Yeah, exactly.
And then
that's
Valdez
why I said,
was off that shit too.
Yeah, Valdez not because he was caught.
Yeah, he was off that shit too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I said Navarrete. I said he was gonna. I broke it down. I gave them a 4-pick parlay too that came through. Because I sat there and said Navarrete. I said go ahead and take Joshua, take Navarrete, and who the other two I gave him? But I gave the two winners. I mean, for a 4-pick and the parlay. And see the parlay with Navarrete. It made that parlay special because Navarrete was the underdog.
Yeah,
so you have the 3 favorites on there with that underdog, and it made that parlay pay off nice.
It juiced that parlay. I would have won like 2,500 off that 11.
It had my parlay. It had my parlay at plus 440.
Oh man, yeah. I wish I didn't. Yeah, I bid down on Valdez.
That's what it was. I gave up Antoine Russell. I gave up Anthony Joshua. I gave up Antoine Russell, Anthony Joshua, and I had your boy versus Melvin Lopez.
Oh yeah. I didn't. Whatever. I lost that one. Can't win them all. Shit.
Yeah, and then I did a follow-up video. Showing people that I had. That of the live where I gave them the parlay.
Yeah.
Because I sat there and said, look, people sleeping on Navarrete. I said, there's no way Navarrete is supposed to be an underdog. I said, his first fight versus Liam Wilson, I said he was coming up to the weight. And that's what people don't realize. He was coming up to the weight. But if you notice, whenever Navarrete gets to the weight, he becomes like when he first got up there with Dog Bay. The first fight was close, but the second fight, he destroyed Dog Bay. You feel me? So, Navarrete is not no little guy. So, you got to realize he's a special talent. So, when he's coming up to this weight, he's going to make himself known. And like I said, I told everybody the way Robinson Casasial made Valdez put his hands in his pocket, the way she did it. I did a complete breakdown for 2 days. Because some people had him at minus 165 and some people had him at 125. But like I explained, Navarrete, he's too unorthodox. He's too awkward. And I said he throws too many punches. And I said Valdez, he come from that Eddie Reynoso school. They got 3 punches over there at the Eddie Reynoso school. They got the hook, uppercut. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get past that right there, and if you hit volume punches, and I knew Navarrete had a beard on him as well. But like I said, if you can do volume shots, like I explained, Burchett was beating the shit out of Oscar Valdez, but Oscar Valdez caught him with the damn Hail Mary. See, people got to understand, like certain fighters have tendencies. And I said Navarrete is gonna get in there, he's gonna beat Valdez, and he's gonna keep his hands at home. And he did that, and he busted that eye up. Boy, like I said,
Yeah,
damn.
that uppercut could have missed too.
And
Shit.
I
Yeah,
and I kept
uppercut
telling you,
and them
I said he
jabs,
brings
man.
that uppercut,
Jabs.
and I said he got that uppercut that he brings from the basement. And he would let
Crazy.
that uppercut at will on Valdez. And Valdez, it got to the point where Valdez couldn't even see it. And that's when I seen it like around the 6th, 7th round. Well, hell, the first 4 rounds he was destroying Valdez. And I was like, yeah, this is easy money. And Valdez tried to fight back. I mean, they tried to make it seem good, talking about it was a war. But that was really a good one-sided ass whooping because I felt like Valdez wasn't even close to that whole fight. I mean, he had a few moments, but his shots was getting caught off Navarrete's gloves. And see, Navarrete looks so unconventional and unorthodox. You think that he has a lot of holes, but he really be catching and shooting a lot too. And you know, it looks like his legs get crossed up, but Oscar Valdez stepped on that man's feet like 3 times in the fight. That's why he failed as well. And that's how he got caught with a couple of Valdez is dirty fighter, bro. He was stepping on the man's foot to hold him down. But you know, like I said, with a guy like Navarrete who has range, he can box him from the outside. Then when Valdez get close, he hit him with that uppercut, and that's what happened. But yeah, I tried to give that to everybody in here. I got a few people that said they
Good
took the
call on
parlay
that.
and made some bread.
Yeah, good call on that.
It's a shame Aram didn't put him and Shakur in there when Shakur's at 30. I mean, I get the politics of it, but that would have been a good fight at 30.
Who?
Shakur
Wasn't
Navarrete.
Navarrete was down there with Isaac Dogway, bro. You
Oh,
remember
he
they
wasn't at 30 with Shakur yet?
Nah, you
Yeah,
remember they was trying to get him and Valdez. They was trying to get him to come up and fight Valdez.
Mm.
Right.
They didn't want
Right.
Shakur versus Valdez, but Shakur and Jay Prince went to ESPN. And ESPN, they was tired of the bullshit fights that they was getting, and they told Bob Arum to make the fight. Bob Arum didn't even want to make the fight. That's why Bob Arum was sitting in the stands and he was upset about the fight. But they had to make it. ESPN controls the budget.
Okay,
You know?
so there was never a timeline when him and Navarrete were in the same.
Nah.
Yeah,
Okay.
when Navarrete was moving up, Shakur was still at 130 and Navarrete.
Got it. Yeah.
And he
Okay.
called him out.
Navarrete
That's what
moved
happened.
up and fought for Shakur's vacant belt.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good fight though. He was at the fight too. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah, I mean, Shakur just wants to fight, so I want him to get in with whoever. You know what I'm saying?
So who can they match up with Shakur right now?
Who could what?
Who can they match up with Shakur right now?
Right now,
I heard Frank Martin's in the rankings high up there.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've done cross promotions before with the two companies, and we'll see.
Who's a good fight for him at 35?
Who's a good fight for him at 35? Who's at 35?
I'm gonna tell you a good fight for him right now. I mean, hell, Del Santos been calling for Shakur, and Shakur
He has been calling for him.
Boy, that hook that
been
dude
calling for him.
Santos got, man.
Edwin De Los Santos been calling for Shakur. Frank Martin is right there beside Shakur. Right, that'd be a great fight right there.
Yeah, that would be a good fight. He has been calling them out, but I don't know what the deal with that is.
Yeah, but I would say Raymond Mortala would be a great fight for Shakur. And I feel like Raymond Mortala and Shakur would be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I didn't even think of him.
Raymond Mortala 18-0. That'd be a great motherfucker right there. That'd be a hell of a fight.
So how do you think Frank matches up with Shakur right now, based off of Frank's last performance?
I feel like RTM Hayurung Young is a great fighter, bro. Like,
yeah, he's under. The people were overlooking him. He's good.
He was 12-0.
He was an Olympian too.
Yeah, he had 239 amateur wins.
Amateur fight, yeah.
So he won 239 of them, had like 11 losses.
Yeah.
But he was an Olympic bronze medalist. He was 12-0 with 7 knockouts at 140. He moved down to 135 to fight Frank Martin. He was a 140-pound fighter. But yeah, I would like to see Shakur versus him, just so we can see as a good measuring stick. Because I feel like RTM, he did pretty good. He was unorthodox. He had good style, and we'll see. We'll see what that is.
And that's my problem with the other Olympian, Keyshawn Davis. He's a talented guy, but they got into the hallway in that little scuffle, and Frank was like, "Well, who would you fight?" I agree with that, man. You ain't fight no punches. You ain't
Frank,
fought nobody
Frank,
yet.
Frank will beat Keyshawn right now. Keyshawn know it. That's why if you checked at the end, Keyshawn said, "Wait till I get like 14 or 15 fights." But see, Keyshawn always does that. He'll talk shit, and then when you ready to fight him, he'll talk about, "Well, I only got 8 or 9 fights." But you the one that said you on the fast track. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like Andy Cruz, he done said something about Keyshawn already. And Andy Cruz' first fight over here, it was a 10 rounder, and he looked good. And he's being trained by Bozy Ennis. I feel like 5-1 fight, Andy Cruz gonna be a hell of a fighter, and he's not fighting those slow link people. He fought a 10 round fight his first fight against a veteran. You feel me?
Yeah, but why do you think Aram is moving Keyshawn so slow? The talent Keyshawn has. I mean, every fight Keyshawn's been in, his last 5 fights have been like cab drivers, man.
I
I'm
mean,
Yeah,
waiting for this guy to
okay, but
step
check this
up.
out. You see, he fought his last fight was a cab driver, but that cab driver gave him more problems than he should have gave him too.
Right.
Y'all talk about Keyshawn's power, I mean his style, but he's having problems with the people he's in there with. Like he should have took that cab driver out a lot longer. I mean, a lot
yeah,
quicker. And I
a lot
told
quicker.
people,
Yeah, he should have.
and I told people that that man has a good style, and he's gonna give Keyshawn problems because Keyshawn ain't as good as people think. That's what I'm saying. If you watch the Olympics versus Andy Cruz showed you the book on Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis, he's good. He can be great, but he's not as good as everybody think he is, bro. Like he has to get in there with some tougher competition, like Big Baby Anderson just did against Charles Martin. That fight against Charles Martin made him much better than the other 13 knockouts that he got because Charles Martin gave him good work. He stunned his ass, and he was in there with a damn knockout puncher and one that was crafty, a damn former world champion. But Top Rank is good at showcasing fights. That's why Top Rank is good when you first start off. But when you get to being a name, you need to go like the PBC somewhere where you can get the tougher fights, where you get the money. Because Top Rank is only into making fights where they pay in house. So because they got a budget.
Right.
So you get your start. You get your start with Top Rank, and then that's when you go. Like when Floyd was good, he bought his way out and he left. Like Top Rank is good for getting your name out there. But once you get you a name, like Mikey Garcia left, Pacquiao left. Like once you get your name, then you need to go out and seek your fortune because you're not gonna get rich on Top Rank. That's not gonna happen.
Shit, a good fight. I'm thinking about it now. Good fight for Keyshawn. It may sound crazy, but like you said, his last performance was trash. They need to put him in there with Gamboa. I'd like to see what he does with Gamboa.
Now Gamboa shot, man.
Gamboa, right.
Gamboa's never really been Gamboa was a pound for pound fighter, but that was at the 126 division. Gamboa was never really shit at 135, bro. He never really was.
Yeah, Gamboa, he's done.
Yeah.
Now back when he was fighting, it was him, Wamba, and Mikey Garcia. He was the shit.
What's up with Gary Russell?
Hey, Gary Russell, I want to see him. Gary Russell, he say he won't take, but I gotta see Gary Russell since he done Planet 619, Dante, the Keg. Y'all salute. TM, salute. My bad. I forgot to salute y'all when y'all came in the door. My bad, family. Salute y'all.
Yeah, I think Gary Russell, he's at 35 now. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Frank.
Gary
They could
Russell,
set that up easy.
Gary Russell ain't got up there yet. Gary Russell, he's not at 126 no more.
Nah.
But he said he wants to come fight Tank, but you just can't jump off there with your shoulder injury and fight Tank. I got to see you fight somebody first.
When's the last time he fought?
Mark Masayao. He fought Mark Masayao with that broken shoulder.
That's the guy.
Yeah, that was like what?
So,
what year was that? 20.
Like a year and a half ago, I think. I think like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it was like a year and a half. Yeah, 2021, I think. Almost. End of 21 or whatever it was. Yeah, it was like October, November, something like that. Whenever it was, I just think that he needs to he's come back and get a fight. But I just
Hey,
don't know what's up with his career, man. You
hey,
know?
Keggy, Marion Jones and them knew what the fuck they was taking with Victor Conte. I'm gonna tell you like this, the Keggy, when you a professional athlete, can't nobody tell you what you put in your body. You know what you put in your body. Ain't nobody gonna trick you into taking those supplements. Fighters know what they putting in there. You feel what I'm saying? They want to act like they don't, but they know. Hey, I'm not saying that it ain't no different with cash crypto. I just don't want to put that on our people unless they get caught with it. You feel what I'm saying? Like I know a lot of people be juicing, but I don't. I mean, our fighters already get enough bullshit from the other people, and I'm not trying to be one of the people that put the narrative on our people unless they're caught. Like I said, I believe in paperwork. If you ain't caught, they ain't gonna put that on you. Excuse my masculinity. Salute, King. Like we got people like Rick Glazier and all these other damn sports writers that always put our fighters down and big up drug cheats like Tyson Fury and shit like that. But they always be trying to put the bad thing on our fighters. I'd never be that type of person.
Yeah, Tyson Fury. I don't know.
Oh, Don the Gotcha Gamer. Salute, King. I was wondering because I was like, damn, I don't remember rinsing up nobody named Dante. So that's Don the Gotcha Gamer. Okay.
What do you guys think about this possible AJ and Wilder?
Shit, I got water, man.
I think I got Wilder too. I just don't.
AJ just a little too timid when punches come at him. I don't
Way
like
too
that.
timid, man. Way too
See,
timid. I just don't think he has the like he's going out there, he has the better resume, but it's something about him is just like you said, it's timid. He's timid.
But you know what? I don't even know if he has the
I
better.
don't think he got the better
Yeah, I
resume.
think if you
You
look
don't?
at Wilder's, who's done that to Tyson Fury?
I mean, Wilder got Ortiz,
Mm-hmm.
who AJ didn't want to fight. Like Wilder got some names on his resume now.
Yeah, and
I
think
just
about
but see
Tyson
my
Fury's the
thing is
best heavyweight, and Wilder gave him the best work out of any heavyweight.
Well, now the biggest name on Joshua is Klitschko, but Klitschko didn't want to fight Wilder, so But
Yeah,
I
and
I see
Klitschko
it
was
like
kind of
this.
old too.
Yeah, but he fought AJ though. But
Yeah,
I see it like this, right? AJ, he's learning a new style, and I said he'll probably win by 6 rounds. He won in 7. See, AJ, he's just getting his confidence back. But see, the way Derek James is training him is good because against a normal puncher. But Wilder, Wilder's long.
he's
But
so unorthodox too, man.
that's what I was gonna say. Wilder's long.
And he's quick.
Yeah, and he showed us that he doesn't need much room to generate power.
Power.
See, AJ was the way Derek James was training AJ is to get in close so the man can't fully extend with his power. But Wilder showed us he don't need to fully extend to generate that type of punching power.
Right.
So I feel like AJ would be in trouble with that fight.
right.
And AJ, we know he can get knocked on his ass quick. Klitschko knocked him down. Ruiz knocked him down.
I think if Wilder hit him, he's not gonna get back up. I think Wilder's gonna put him on ice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think Wilder is his career, man. Like
Yeah,
AJ is one fight away from one loss away from ending his boxing career,
Yeah.
man.
You know what the problem is?
Eddie Hearn has him in a lifetime contract, but I think Wilder stops in the other 4 rounds, bro. Because
yeah,
AJ, he's gonna have to be high and tight with that guard. He's gonna have to come in with his jab, and like Wilder, it's hard to prepare for Wilder because he's unorthodox. Like I told you, like Boo Boo, like Navarrete, they're not conventional fighters, so it's hard to get somebody to train for that. And plus, Wilder has that equalizer. Like Wilder said, he only has to be perfect for 3 seconds, while you got to be perfect the whole fight. And Wilder can kick your ass and send you up out of there quick. And I feel like AJ defense is not that great, and he's going to end up getting caught. And he's going to get caught.
AJ's not a fighter. That's why he's not a fighter.
yeah. You know,
Wilder. That was something Wilder fell back on too. But I don't know about AJ's upbringing. Wilder had he had a little rough upbringing, so that gives you, that makes you a little callous. So
Yeah, Derek James, like you said, up to piggyback off that, James is teaching that guy patterns. Wilder's gonna pick up on that pattern real quick, like you said, under 4 rounds. He's gonna lead with the jab, and he's not proficient with the patterns yet, like a EJ or a Charlo. He's just learning this shit, so he's still kind of sloppy with it. If you watch that Hellenius fight,
Yeah, but Hellenius walked into a short pop. Like I didn't think I couldn't believe he generated that much force and power with that little shot, but he did. But I'm gonna tell you one thing I've noticed about fighters, right? Earl Spence, he had a great upbringing and stuff. He had both his parents and stuff. But if you notice fighters like Tank, Terrence Crawford, and a few other greats, like Mike Tyson and shit, they didn't have nobody. All they had was boxing. So they had to take their boxing seriously. You feel what I'm saying? Like those fighters right there, they show a lot of different stuff when they in that ring right there.
right?
Because, this is all they had. They wasn't doing it by choice. They was doing it because they had to. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys aren't fighters nowadays. They,
Yeah.
like what's that heavyweight? That young heavyweight? That
Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson. Yeah, that mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Like he talking about quitting at the age of 27. Like,
yeah.
Like Jared Anderson has all the tools to be a great fighter, but he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it mentally. Like mentally, he's not ready to buckle down and do it all. Because they said he knocked out Fury as far. And like he was riding around saying he was the best heavyweight in the world at that time. Because they say he knocked out Fury, so Fury went back to England. He said he had COVID because he had Jared Anderson, F.N. Jabba, and Joseph Parker in that training camp. And you remember they asked F.N. Jabba and Joseph Parker, they didn't even know they had COVID. So they knew Tyson Fury had lied and everything. But yeah. Yeah, all things, Martin gave him the best experience he could have got. Yeah, I remember AJ. Yeah, Crawford said a lot of shit, then he retracted it. You know something, Keggy? If it was the old Daniel Dubois, I would say it would be a great fight against Usyk. But ever since Joe Joyce beat Daniel Dubois, like Daniel Dubois last fight, he got dropped like 3
I don't believe in Dubois. I'm not buying him footage. I'm not buying his footage.
You see that the last fight he got dropped. He got dropped a couple times, and he brought it out. But Daniel Dubois ain't the same fighter as he was after Joe Joyce.
That George Joyce, man, that shit was crazy.
It's easy to look good on footage, man. Usyk is good, man.
Usyk one of them crazy white boys where you punch him, they be like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He a Viking, man. Them dudes is different. He's gonna beat up on Dubois. Gonna get in there and he's gonna show Dubois them angles, and he ain't gonna know what to do.
Yeah, that's a really bad matchup.
The only thing is Usyk ain't got the show-stopping power.
Right, exactly. That's the only thing. He's a smaller heavyweight, but he's got skill, man. That dude's got.
He just gonna pop him all night.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Just do my guy salute. What's going on, King? And see, that right there, that brings me to the point of Marquise Taylor. Remember he beat Yo Elvis Gomez? Elvis Gomez was the knockout puncher. The young prospect. And Marquise Taylor, he was like 12-0 with one knockout and everything about 2 weeks ago. Remember, he showed how great boxing and pugilistic sat there and beat that man that was a young knockout puncher. He was pesky. He was fighting like Andre Ward a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? Like he would punch and grab, and he was doing everything a good boxer was supposed to do. You feel me? But he showed like, hell, you ain't gotta have all power just to fight. If you a great boxer and you got the angles and stuff, boxing is a damn motherfucking is a mental sport first and foremost. 80% mental, 60% physical. Then people be like, well, how can it be that? It's only 100%. Because most of it overlaps. because without your mind and body and spirit as one, you don't get the full extent of your greatness.
Hey,
Yeah,
let
that's
me-
why I think people sleep on Tank when people talk about Devin Haney and Tank Davis, even Shakur and Tank. Like Tank is a great boxer. I don't think people realize that.
Hey, Keg, yeah. I mean, you can disagree, Keg, but I'm telling you, Usyk gonna be too much for Daniel Dubois. Like I
Oh
said,
yeah, that's a wash.
we watched Daniel Dubois last fight. He barely made it up out of there. Like the ref could stop that at any time in the beginning when he was getting dropped off like that. Like I said, he's a shell of himself. Like he doesn't have the same confidence as he used to. But maybe since he's going for a unified championship, maybe he can be the old Danny Dubois. I would like to see it. I would like to see him come back like he used to fight, because he was a great talent. But his last fight, he looked like he was out of shape. He had a gut, and like he just didn't look spectacular. He did.
Yeah.
So I hope he take this training camp seriously. I hope he looks good against Usyk. But I just don't feel like Danny Dubois is on the level of an AJ, and AJ couldn't even fuck with that boy.
I just want to chime in real quick. I'm sure you guys talked about it already. I don't know how long you've been on UE, but we saw you talking about Crawford going up to fight Canelo. What was your viewpoint on that?
Well, I said if he do, I mean, I wouldn't stop him from doing that, but he'll be fighting Jamil Charlo, because I feel like Jamil Charlo's gonna beat Canelo both fights. I feel like Canelo's he's washed. He's at the end trying to get that $100 million paycheck, which he signed for. I don't think he's got the attributes or the skill to beat a Jamil Charlo. He hasn't been in the ring with a Jamil Charlo.
I think Mel has athleticism.
Like he hasn't been in the ring with an athletic fighter with this punching power right here. He was in there with Floyd, but Floyd didn't have the power Bill got. You know what I'm saying? He was in there with Triple G, but Triple G don't have the speed Bill got. You feel what I'm saying? He was in there with Bivol, but Bivol don't have the power of both hands as Bill. Like Bill does everything great. He has a great jab. He got great defense. He got power in both hands. He got lateral movement. He has great stamina, great body work. Like Canelo's been avoiding this shit for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody talk about Jamal. You gotta realize they still twins. The same shit Jamal got, Jamil got too. Like Jamal is more polished, but I feel like the raw intensity of Jamil will bring it up. And I feel like if Canelo gets tired like he did his last 4 fights, he always
gets tired.
Yeah. I feel like Jamil is going to put it on him, and the ref probably going to have to stop him, because if Jamil starts teeing off on the face of boxing, they can't allow him to sit there and keep getting them shots from Jamil, because Jamil hits very hard.
Yeah, here's my thing. I agree with you on there's a possibility. I don't like fighters coming off long layoffs and an injury.
Plus Jamil only going to 162, 163. So he's going to have the speed advantage over Canelo.
Yeah, and he's, you know what, he's one of them fighters that that's very dangerous when he gets mad. You know, because he, like you said with Wilder, it doesn't take a lot of, like, he can generate power and it'll be a short shot. Look what he did.
And he's good at setting traps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
exactly.
And one thing about Jamil, I be telling people, Jamil has made himself better each fight he's been in with Derek James. Like Rachel Richardson, Salute Princess, each fight Jamil has been in, he has looked better for Derek James. Like from the Tony Harrison 1 to Tony Harrison 2 to Castano 1 to Castano 2. Like, y'all gotta look at the wars Jamil has been in, and if you look at the adjustments that he makes in each fight, he never goes back to the same mistakes that he's made, that he's corrected. So each time it's iron sharper iron. He's becoming a better fighter each fight. And I feel like he's peaking right now. Like, he's peaking. He's riding his wave. And he got a chance to do, this man has, his biggest payday was the Castano fight. You feel me? I think he got like 7-8 mil off of that, right? And you know that's because of all the damn endorsements and the promos and all that right there. Jamil Charlo has a chance to make $80 million, bro. And look, Canelo got a $30 million guarantee, because he got a $100 million contract for 3 fights. That's 30, 30, and 40, right? So Canelo versus Jamil Charlo is going to do over 1 million buys because Canelo fans come out. He did
Yeah,
800.
yeah. He did 700,000 with
He did
Sheen.
8. He did 800K with Caleb Plant. He
Okay,
did
800,000
1.2 million with Triple G. He did 500K on the Zone with John Ryder.
with John Ryder. Yeah,
Yeah, and people been wanting to see him versus a black fighter. Black and Brown do good fights together.
yeah.
Plus, Canelo fans gonna come out to support him versus a Mayate, how they say it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, the gates gonna be another one of them $20 million gates because it's in Vegas. So Errol Spence, Errol Spence and Javante, they both had $20 million gates. So I feel like this Canelo and Jamil will probably be like a $22 or $24 million gate. So let's just say they do $1 million. $1 million pay-per-view buys, right? It's gonna be an $85 pay-per-view.
Right.
So that's 85 million right there.
Mm-hmm.
They got a 25 million gate. So that's $110 million fight on the low end. Not include the concessions, not include the promotions, or
Memorabilia.
who they put on the shorts. Because them a couple $1 million to get your logos on the shorts.
Right.
So that's 110 million, right? We're gonna take away 30 million off gate for Canelo's guarantee. Because they're gonna have to pay that back. So that leaves it at 80 million right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna take away 10% for the paper for Showtime, so that leaves it around 70 million. So then we're gonna give Jamil Charlo about 25 million, and we're gonna give Canelo the other 40 million. So Canelo made about 70 million off that fight, and Jamil Charlo makes about 25 to 30 million. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now Jamil Charlo wins the rematch, it'd be more of a 50-50 because they both PBC and Jamil got the undisputed belts. So Canelo still gets his $30 million guarantee, but Jamil Charlo being the undisputed winner, he's going to get like a $15 million guarantee.
Right.
And rematches do better. But let's just say it does about the same. So now you got 110 and you take away 45 off the top of that. So now you at 75. So now you at 60 million after Showtime get their cut. Then you can go 30 million apiece because he's not gonna take the low end then. So that's Canelo getting 30 million, that's Jamil getting 30 million. So Canelo walks away with 60 million, and Jamil walks away with about 45 to 50 million. And then with the first fight, that's about 80 million in 2 fights. That man ain't gotta fight no more if he don't want to.
That's the thing. That's with him saying he's gonna come back. With him saying he's gonna come back down, I don't believe it.
He's not going back down to 154.
Nah, not there's. I mean, why would he do that to himself at this stage in his career after coming off a big fight like that?
He beats
And that's
Canelo.
another question: is there a rematch no matter who wins or loses?
It's a rematch if Canelo loses.
Oh, only if Canelo loses. Okay.
I mean, Jamil don't lose his belts. I mean, he still got his belts at 154.
Right, he still got his belt. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming up there to fight Canelo on a voluntary.
Yeah.
So if Canelo loses, he gets a shot back at it. But with Crawford sitting there saying he wants the winner of that right there, so say like Jamil wins twice.
Mm-hmm.
Have Crawford come up and fight the winner of Danny Garcia and Erislandy Lara, so he can get used to the 160 division.
Right.
And if he does manage to fight Jamil and wins against Jamil, right? We just gonna say hypothetically if he wins against Jamil. So you got Crawford undisputed at 168. And we done built Earl up for the rematch. Earl's perfect weight is 168. Floyd even told you he want to see Earl at 160 or 168. Could you imagine the fight between Earl and Crawford at 168 after Earl done stopped Zoo or Castano the way they building them up?
That would be a huge fight, but I don't see Crawford going up and beating nobody at 168. Like,
I mean, Canelo's a natural 160 pounder. People don't realize that. He's not a 168 pounder. That's why Canelo keeps gassing out because it's too much weight for his body at 168. If you know Canelo,
he can't help it because of his body type. But you
notice he brings fighters to fight him, like John Ryder. He brought Triple G up. He be bringing fighters up to fight him, or he'd go up and try to fight Bivol because being a lower weight, he thought he would be faster than Bivol, but he didn't realize Bivol had that jab on him.
Yeah, Bivol is good, man. I always saw that one.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not a.
But if Crawford can go up to 160 or 168, I mean, shit.
I don't think he should.
I mean,
Be honest with you.
if he did though, just look. My man, Roberto Duran jumped from 135 to 147 in one fight. Then he jumped up to
That's true.
160. Then he jumped to 160 to fight Marvis Hagler. So you know he went to 160 to fight Marvin Hagler. So you know Crawford going
That's
for
what you need.
huh?
I mean, it could possibly, but I ain't seen nobody else do that. You know.
But you know, Earl was slated to go up there and fight Canelo. And before Crawford's fight, we would have picked Earl to be a good fight against Canelo before that Crawford fight.
Well, the thing is because the thing about Roberto Duran, Roberto Duran was a short, stocky guy. Crawford's more lean. That's why I'm saying.
Right now. He don't look lean right now. He didn't look lean in the Earl fight.
He looked big, but I'm saying Earl looked bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like his body type.
Yeah, but Earl didn't look bigger in that fight right there. That's the problem.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No.
See, Earl has a stocky body type, but like I said once before, Earl ain't used to shocking his body for his weight cut, and he didn't rehydrate right because he hasn't did it in a while. Like you can't sit there for 16 months and then expect to cut weight like you used to, because your body's
not at 33 years old.
Yeah, at 33 years old, your body's not gonna react the way you do. That's why Blu-ray made the video and said anything that could have went wrong in that training camp right there. But you know,
what do you think the reason for him not being in there no more?
I feel like they might bring him back because he was there for the Pacquiao training camp. You know, Blu-ray was there and trained him for Pacquiao.
Yeah,
but I feel like
he said he was there for that, but he wasn't there for some of the other fights or whatever. And
I feel like because Blu-ray, you know, Earl be big as hell when he does Blu-ray. And I felt like Earl felt like that he was, you know, he was limited by how much weight that he could make. And I don't know. I ain't even about to speculate, bro. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, Blu-ray kind of speculated to the fact that he and it's something within Derrick James.
Yeah, you know, Derrick James has a lot of pride. You feel me?
Yeah.
And Derrick James like to be the one that gets the credit for shit. And you know, when Blu-ray was there, it was taking away from Derrick James' credit, honestly.
Yeah.
Because everybody was talking about how Blu-ray had him looking good. They weren't really talking about what Derrick James was doing. And now, you know, with Blu-ray not there, the people talk about how Derrick James put together this plan right there. You know, boxing is an ego thing, bro, for real.
Yeah, it's a lonely man sport. You win or lose is on you.
Yeah. And see, like I talked to Derrick James, and he said how people sit there calling for him to get fired and stuff after the loss and everything. You feel me? But, you know, Earl's going to stick with Derrick. You know, that's his guy. They've been together since the start of Earl boxing. Really.
Right.
But like I said, you know, Derrick feel like he know best for Earl, and Blu-ray feel like he know Earl's body better than anybody else. So you know that's egos clashing in the locker room. You feel me?
Right.
And like he said, Earl's dad had to get him for the Pacquiao fight. See, Earl's dad reached out to Blu-ray for the Pacquiao fight. It wasn't even Spence or Derrick James. But I hope they can hash this shit, put this shit behind them, and do what's good for the Spence brand.
Yeah, that's gonna have to take EJ telling both them dudes, look, I need both of y'all, and you know.
Yeah, I need both of y'all
because they both getting paid off of him, so you know, he really should be have the final say.
Well, you know, Derrick James got motherfucking Anthony Joshua now, and you know Anthony Joshua be getting them $30 and $40 million paydays.
Absolutely.
And I also feel like Derrick James was focusing on Joshua a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Like he needs to get some help in there. Because I feel like...
Don't he have help in there? Don't he have that other guy?
That Guzman guy?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, but you have Jamel Charlo, you have Frank Martin, you have AJ, and you have Earl Spence all having fights within a month and a half of each other.
Right.
You can't really focus on all four of them like that, getting the time and training that they need to make their fight. That's why, you know, Frank was a little off in his fight too. Like I just feel like Derrick James need to not be prideful and get some help there. Like you see Boback and them, they got like 4 or 5 motherfuckers in there.
Right.
You know, so I feel like, you know, get you a team around you. You know, you have the final say. You know, you have the final say.
Yeah, I think he is spreading himself too thin.
Yeah. But another thing I was gonna touch on, man, you see how the Matchroom and them, they extort their players. Like if you don't fight for me, you gonna pop dirty.
You think that?
Yeah, because Jessica McCaskill, I'm glad you said that. Hold on, I got a recording. Hold on.
Yeah, I heard what she said.
Well, I'm about to play it for the people that didn't hear it. All right, hold on. This is Jessica McCaskill, the undisputed women's champion.
Yeah, I got a lot to say, like, super quick. I'm on date night with Rick. I left him at the bar real quick. I was like, I got to get on and support Alicia. I told her I support her. So, I mean, the shit that I'm about to say right now is like, they might fuck up my next fight with Sandy Ryan. But I'm going to say it one time. So if y'all don't listen, y'all better drink for the I'm not saying it again. So, let's do the math, like, really quick, okay? Alicia signed a multiple fight contract with Matchroom in what, beginning of January 20. Multiple fights. She has 4 fights. She has a mandatory now, who is Chow, right? When you have a mandatory, you don't necessarily have to have a promoter. It's like mine went to a bid. And what happened to my fight? I was supposed to fight like June 24th or something like that. I signed my contract. My opponent signed my contract, and they asked me to sign a Matchroom 3 up with them for 3 more fights. I was like, let's finish this mandatory and figure out what's gonna happen. What happened? Because I did not sign the contract with Matchroom, they took my opponent and gave her to Terry Harper. So at that point, I had no fight. So at that point, I had to sign back up with Matchroom for a couple more fights. With her, she got to fight Choi. And they're not saying, hey, Alicia signed another multiple fight contract. They're saying Alicia pop hot. So maybe she's not signing the contract. Maybe she's like putting Matchroom in a corner somewhere and they don't like that. So all of a sudden, quote unquote, she pops hot. Fuck out of here. So, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of shady shit that goes on. A lot of people don't know the background of what happens behind the scenes in boxing. Honestly, fans don't really care. They just want to see fights. People want to talk about how she looks really muscular. She's been looking muscular. She came into the game looking the way that she looks. And a professional, she got over 4,000 followers on Instagram. So, and she got sponsors. So she's not going to be out here looking fat. She ain't going to be out here, boozing and looking crazy. She got money coming in. So she's going to stay fit. Nobody says, wow, Canelo looks like super fit when he's not fighting. No, nobody talks out of pocket like that. So now they want to come at her all super crazy. I look fit 24/7 because I stay in the gym 24/7. Better not nobody talking shit about me either. I'm out here trying to find like separate sources to get tested because I don't trust people talking about some, hey, go get tested with VADA. VADA doesn't come through. Who comes through? WADA. WADA is a different company than VADA. There's multiple people that are testing you when it comes to if you're a Matchroom fighter or not. And that shit is not controlled. WADA does not send your test results to you. They keep them. I got tested by WADA when I fought Cecilia, so I don't know if Cecilia tested negative or positive or what because they didn't send that information. I contacted VADA and said, hey, did you guys send somebody to test me? And they said no. Why would they send WADA when they have a contract with us? So shady shit happens all the time. I support Alicia. Like, look at Conor Ben. They tried to conceal Conor Ben up until the actual fight day. And somebody leaked it, and it came out. So if they can conceal people's test results, they can also make up fake test results. That's all I got to say. Yeah. I'm not repeating it. So
I know you said you're not repeating, but to be clear.
I mean, I got more on it, but that's just giving you the gist of it right there. Like, Eddie Hearn and them, they dealt with Daniel Kinahan and them as well. Like, it's over there in the British UK, it's a lot of corruption over there. Just like Top Rank did the same thing with Mikey Garcia and Pacquiao. Like, they tried to get Mikey Garcia to re-up on his contract, and he didn't want to. So they put him on the shelf because they'll wait till you got one fight left, and they'll try to make you re-up on your contract. And if not, then they try to prevent you from getting your last fight in and put you on the shelf so you can stay there until you break and you sign back with them. But the way they saying MACHROOM doing, they saying MACHROOM is making it look like you pop dirty if you don't play games with them. And that's true. They had Conor Benn juicing. Conor Benn's been juicing, and they concealed that. They concealed it for that long. Because, like, I did a video on Conor Benn. If you look at the video of Conor Benn 3 years ago, and then next thing you know, Conor Benn's out here knocking out everybody he's in the ring with, like, it was a big, big change. Like, Conor Benn went from a slim nobody 147 fighter to a damn motherfucking yeah, he was jacked, and he was a 147 Tank Davis knocking everything out. And like, it was crazy. You see he was getting roid rage and everything too. You see he was getting upset to have the little outbursts and everything. But yeah. That's true. What you saying right there, Cash Crypto? It's like Bud fans don't even. They act like that Bud didn't even beat Spence or something because you try to give Bud his flowers, and they still complaining. I'm like, damn. Like Bud beat all these other fighters, and they're not talking about that. But the fact that he beat Spence, they can't let it go or nothing like that. We supposed to be a fan of boxing, a fan of both fighters, but they make it hard for you to like different fighters right there because the Bud fans is also worse than the damn Canelo fans, honestly.
I think you got extremists on both sides, extreme
Yeah.
fans on both ends. But yeah, you gonna have people that
I ain't
you do
talking about
have.
the true Bud fans. I'm talking about the Bud fans that's just there because EJ lost. Because if
Oh,
all
okay.
these people was true Bud fans, then Bud would be a pay-per-view star. Bud sold 15,000 on BLK versus David Avenisia. Like Bud doesn't sell. And if they was really fans of Bud, they would buy his fight. But they haven't. They haven't
He's
been buying
not
those
a big
fights.
pay-per-view star, but he fills up arenas. He does well
Yeah,
in
but he
the
don't
biggest.
be in big he doesn't be in big arenas. Like he be in a capacity of 6,000-7,000 capacity arenas and stuff, bro. Like they're not putting him in a damn 40,000 capacity arena or nothing. Like, I mean, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm just talking about like a lot of these Bud Crawford fans. They just fans. Like they just wait for the downfall of one of our fighters.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these people weren't anyway fans. They were just happy that he beat Stephen Fulton because you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have that no matter what. You got scragglers that
Just like I
hop
had
on
this
something.
this so-called Earl Spence fan come on here. He said he was an Earl Spence fan until Bud knocked him out. But this dude looked like a goofy ass child molester. Oh, he did. I even did a video on the guy. Like he was up here giggling and acting all crazy. I'm like, damn.
When was this?
This was last week. I did a video on it.
Oh yeah, I haven't been on UE. My son, he what's the name? He's in college, so I had to go help him move from his dorm. So I've been away for him, and I haven't been paying attention to anything.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw the link in here just in case. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Because I had to do a damn video on this crazy motherfucker, bro. Like the dudes in this motherfucker damn acting stupid. Hold on. And that's the link for it right there, the thing. Like that dude was acting weird as shit. And my guy Kawhi Elliott, salute, King, salute. Well, you know, it's the Sabbath. I've been on here about 2 hours, man. I appreciate you for coming out here, though, Karate Body, man. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
man.
back on here.
Always. I'm gonna hop on as much as I can, man. You know.
All right, well, I'm gonna be back on tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna be back on
Okay.
tomorrow. Probably
What time?
about 12:30. You know, catch it early.
Okay, that's for sure. I'll be up there.
And then I'll probably do one late for my third shift workers, though.
Okay.
But you want to give a shout out? You got your own channel or something like?
Nah, man, I just love boxing. Boxing's always been my first love since I think the first fight, one of the first big fights I watched was with my pops was Sugar Ray Leonard and Hagler. I just remember, I remember way back then. I was like 7 years. What year was that? Whatever it was, I was grade school.
40 years ago.
See, I'm 43.
Yeah,
So.
I'm 41. But peace and blessings to everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow, karate buddy.
All right, check it in.
I'm gonna try to get home on earlier and then do late shows for my third shift workers because I know they be needing something to do while they at work at nighttime. Start next week, I start coming on twice a day. But peace and blessings to all. If you not subscribed, man, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, share, comment. And y'all know how we leave up out this place right here. Y'all know we about to blow it up out of here.
They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeezing, leave a nigga. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeezing, leave a nigga bleeding. Raw Molly got me all up in demon mode. Mouth moving like I done put clean in my nose. Trying to catch me up, I can leave with some hoes. He standing straight up, watch I make him lean with this pole. Would've thought he was closed, how that heat made him fold. Thought it was a game, he won't think no more. His brain's gone, nigga. It be exciting when I get to striking. Guns sound like thunder, hit you like lightning. Fight for your life, we don't do no fighting. We really hit it, nigga. We worse than savage, they calling us Vikings. Police be riding, we still be sliding. Told you we hitters, remember the time. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeezing, leave a nigga bleeding. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeezing, leave a nigga bleeding. How about I leave them holding like the Bible? AR-15, that's a high-pound rifle. A in the army and assassinate rivals. Break that shit down, nigga. AK to anybody kill. Hop out, get the drilling and spilling. Stay on point, 6-2, gon' split 'em. LPN, that's for any fuck nigga. You a plug, then I'm pulling up, nigga. You my lunch, eat these bullets for dinner. 5 boys sell, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. SK, smoke killer for show. Drum rounds and cripple ops Draco. I got them all, you don't want no. I got all those shit, nigga. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze, leave a nigga bleeding. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding.